Constable. And the Scarlets, well, it's a much stronger Scarlet side than the one that went down 5 weeks ago. Internationals in the second row in the form of Sione Timani, and in the back row, Josh Turnbull and the skipper Rob McCusker. And some interesting selections behind the scrum, Tavis Noyle and two men who we are looking to book a place on the Lions tour, Jonathan Davis and George North on the right wing. A perfect night here at Ravenhill. The pitch in very, very good condition, and the Scarlets, and as was mentioned, haven't won at Ravenhill for more than 4 years, anxious to reverse that trend. Still very much in contention out of Europe, unfortunately for them, but still very much in contention. And here comes Chris Henry, Ulster skipper, leading out the Ulster mascots. Callum Davidson from Whitehead Primary School, Freddie Starrett from Market Hill, and there's a man winning his 50th Ulster cap tonight. And his father, the former Springbok fullback Jose Pinar, is over on a visit, and it'll be interesting just to see how he regards his son's performances here in his adopted province. 4 changes in the Ulster pack. Tom Court back in, Adam Macklin retaining his place, Dan Toohey in from the start, and back come Nick Williams and the Ulster skipper Chris Henry, leading the side as he has done on so many occasions. Pinar and Jackson restored at halfback. Paddy Jackson celebrating his 21st birthday tomorrow. Luke Marshall keeps his place. Darren Cave is back in, and back comes Andrew Trimble with Craig Gilroy and Adam Darcy there from the Munster game last week. The 24th league game tonight for the Welsh referee Leighton Hodges, assisted by Sean Gallagher and Brian McNeese from the IRFU. The television match official is the former City of Derry outside half, Marshall Kilgore. So first against second, and a second in the shape of the Llanelli Scarlets to get the game underway. Bit of a dummy there from their outside half, Alan Thomas. Gets it right this time. Gilroy with plenty of time. Gilroy into contact. Chris Henry across the 22. Pinar having a glance to see where his halfback partner Paddy Jackson is.
Use it. It's taken in.
Taken back inside the 22, so we can't kick directly into touch. Well gathered by Dan Newton. Here comes the skipper McCusker, taken by his opposite number Nick Williams. Good tackle by Williams. Noyle under a little bit of pressure. Again, Ulster's first tackling is pretty good. Away comes Emir Phillips though. A positional kick, and that's gone straight into touch. Bit of enterprise from both sides.
Yeah, and certainly the Scarlets are a team, when they get into that flow, they get that offloading game, they're a pleasure to watch. Ulster need to keep their line speed up in defence, try and nullify that, and we know what threats they possess out wide. Interesting to see Simon Easterby in the warm-up, really very animated. Simon Easterby outlining the challenge that lay before them, and they'll be acutely aware of how good this Ulster team is.
Rob Herring starting an Ulster game for the 6th time this season. Oh, great take by Lewis Stevenson. Pinar. Oh, he's given that just about everything. Bit of challenging there by Ulster. Bit of blocking by the Scarlets. Dan Newton taken down. Scarlets forced to kick. Pinar, I think, took that back inside.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Obviously not, because the touch has been given. And what a splendid kick by Rowan Pinar.
He's been outstanding, that kicking out of hands, just his judgment. And as he saw that ball, a difficult catch to take over the shoulder, was very aware of where he was on the pitch, made the catch, and then just slowed things down, took his time and put in an excellent kick.
No different to you down there.
When these sides last met in the Parky Scarlets some 5 weeks ago, the Scarlets were not able to field a side with a single international player. A little bit of pulling on the jersey there by Ulster. Plight might well have been Adam Macklin, and Ulster conceded the first penalty of the game.
If that was against Chris Henry, it looks a harsh one. It looked as though Noyles was the one that was preventing Henry getting to the ball. That could have gone either way.
Yeah, I thought Chris Henry there was interfered with first. That hasn't found touch. Gathered in by Adam Darcy, starting just his 2nd game of this season, having been fairly regularly in most matchday squads last year. Well taken by Alan Thomas. McCusker. Punch, drive and then stretch by the Scarlets. There's the stretch and there's almost the interception by Andrew Trimble. Referees let that go. I think the touch judge on the far side has indicated that Andrew Trimble might just have nudged it forward. So we're going to get the first scrum of the evening, and it's going to be a big scrum for young Adam Macklin.
Scrum. Red ball.
Perfect night for rugby. Very little in the way of wind on the pitch, which hasn't been used all that much, in very good nick.
And the Scarlets looking to play the game with tempo. Ulster nullified that last time around by that rush defence. It brought dividends in terms of Andrew Trimble picking up an intercept, and certainly Ruan Pienaar very accurate with his charge down. They'll need to ensure that they cramp that Scarlets attack once again.
Jacobi Adrianza, the South African, trying to get that wide pass in, didn't go to hand, and had Trimble picked that up, he may well have been away. Was a stoppage for a bit of attention to Josh Turnbull, one of 3 internationals, 2 Welsh and 1 Tongan in this Scarlets pack. The Tongan in the second row, Sione Tamani. Tom Ford, who came off the bench a week ago. Free kick against Ulster for early engagement.
Main issue is you went before the set.
So Rob McCusker will probably ask his outside half Alan Thomas to put it up into the air. If he kicks it straight into touch, it'll be an Ulster line out. Well, that's not a bad effort of Gary Owen. Underneath it is Darcy. Well taken by Darcy. Splendid stuff. Lewis Stevenson backing his full-back up. Pienaar. Jackson. Tackled by Turnbull. Pienaar. Darcy. Runs into Adrianza. And Jonathan Edwards, the open side flanker for the Scarlets. Well, it's a good turnover by the Scarlets, and there's a half a chance here if they can shift this. Well away by Davis, chipped through by Gareth Maul, and Gilroy legs it into the corner. And that was a turnover that Ulster probably shouldn't have given away.
The turnover's costly. A team like the Scarlets know how to utilise it, looking to find that space, opting to kick through on this occasion. Excellent high ball there, Darcy returning there. As it goes into contact, you see the player over the ball, he has the rights to it, and potential turnover there.
Ulster have shortened the line out to 4 men, just a few metres from their own line. Oh, great take by Tui. Pienaar, Nick Williams. Through come the Scarlets. That's well managed by Ulster. And Paddy Jackson puts in a very good clearance kick. So danger averted just, well, perhaps momentarily, because it is going to be the Scarlets' throw.
There's certainly a focus from the Scarlets team. They're well aware of the threat. Also, we see this high ball. What you want from your fullback is security and certainty at the back. And Adam Darcy, the minute that left the boot, he put his name on it. He ran from a long distance and claimed it.
Well, also a little bit sloppy at the breakdown. Good take at the back by Richard Kelly. Ulster have nicked that one. Well done by Williams. Dyack gets it away. Paddy Jackson, I think, considering his options before he had the ball in his possession. It's a rare error from the youngster, 21 years of age tomorrow, so happy 21st birthday, Paddy. No better present for him than a win here tonight, I'm pretty sure. Well, Kelly took that down well, and it went loose, and Nick Williams was pretty alert to it, wandered well on the ground. Dyack with the pass, and Jackson just lost concentration for a split second.
The mark is there, where they set without the fuss, or you leave me to deal with it, okay?
Second scrum of the evening, and the second to the Scarlets. Ulster got pinged for an early engagement last time. Tavis Noyle.
Touch! Set!
Bit of a squeeze by Ulster. Noyle under a bit of pressure there. Round comes Henry. Good work by Ulster's captain. He's turned the Scarlets scrum half. And Ulster get penalised for going over. Nick Williams, I think it might have been. All the hard work was done. The scrum was excellent. The spoiling was terrific. And then they committed a very straightforward error.
The ball just popping out there, and Chris Henry ever alert onto it. Referee calling for him to roll away, which he does. Nick Williams going over. Probably felt that he'd gone past the ball, and then quite often doesn't get blown if you go to ground. But referee onto that, and first opportunity of points for the Scarlets.
Alan Thomas, in his second spell with the Scarlets, was with them 6 or 7 years ago when he was in his late teens, and went away and came back. This is the second season. Silence descends over Ravenhill. Stabbed at that, but it's straight between the Ulster posts. And the Scarlets have got off to the perfect start for them. 8.5 minutes gone, and they're leading Ulster by 3 points to 0.
Yeah, deserved lead. They've controlled possession better. They've established some territory through some clever kicking out of hand, and ultimately they've deserved the reward of 3 points.
For Paddy Jackson, giving his forward something to chase. Well taken in once again by Richard Kelly. Ulster spoiling at the breakdown. Haven't managed to effect a turnover though. Tavis Noyle has been told to use it. He'd have to kick from here. And he didn't get it away quickly enough. You've got 5 seconds, and Tavis Noyle will have known that. And because he delayed, Leighton Hodges has given the put into the scrum to Ulster in a pretty decent attacking place.
Yeah, the communication was excellent from the referee, and regardless of the quality of possession, once that call comes in, you've got to make the most of it and use that ball. They didn't, and Ulster now the perfect attacking platform.
Well, Pienaar just glancing outside him and having a word with Paddy Jackson, who's passing on a message all the way down the line to the far side of the pitch, where Adam Darcy and Andrew Trimble are waiting. That could be Adrianza, born in Cape Town 27 years ago, played for Western Province and the Golden Lions before joining the Scarlets at the start of the season. Currie Cup winner with the Golden Lions.
Touch!
Good solid Ulster platform. Pienaar, Jackson, Gilroy lost his footing. Luke Marshall in quickly. That's good support play by Robbie Dyack. Pienaar again. Darren Cave back inside. Darcy's done well. Scarlets there quickly at the breakdown.
Leave it 7!
Jonathan Edwards told to get away from it. Jackson again. Darren Cave. Jackson, Cave, Luke Marshall and Gilroy, all members of that very successful Irish Wolfhound side that defeated Fiji in November at Thomond Park in Limerick. And the Scarlets have managed, have they? Yes, another turnover. Not quite, but they've got to put into the scrum because of a good choke tackle. Good Scarlets defence.
Yeah, really getting that line set nice and early. Ulster are going through phases. The Scarlets getting there. Good line speed, moving up and nullifying the ball. Switch back a number of times. See that inside pass, trying to release Darcy into space. Last season he ran some very good lines off the shoulder of Ian Humphreys, and Ulster just going through some phases but unable to dislodge that player over the ball.
Rob McCusker, capped now 5 times for Wales.
8. When you're tying back
captain,
on, make sure you go round the ruck, not straight to the middle, okay?
Jonathan Davis as captain at the start of the week because they weren't quite sure what was going to happen to Rob McCusker, who got a red card in his last game, but it was decided at a disciplinary meeting during the week that the red card was sufficient, so no suspension for him. Ulster have a man down injured. It looks like Adam Darcy in the middle of the park. It is Adam Darcy.
He took a hit from the side when he received that ball on the inside. Quite a heavy hit. Have to see how he responds to physio treatment.
Paddy Jackson has dropped right back inside the Ulster 10-metre line. Noyle, that was from outside. Alan Thomas well covered by Jackson. Andrew Trimble is there. Scored the try against the Scarlets 5 weeks ago in Llanelli. Pienaar, quicker ball now by Ulster. Craig Gilroy has a little go himself. Chris Henry, good step back inside. Now, he made contact with Rob Herring, but the referee's happy that there was no accidental offside. Jackson, Nick Williams. Well, communication between Nick Williams and Lewis Stevenson a little bit awry. And again, I think Mark Anscombe won't be happy with all these little errors that are costing Ulster possession.
Yeah, certainly not system errors. They look to be just small individual handling errors. Nick Williams doing very well, doing what he does well, taking the ball into contact, but then always looking to free the arms and offload that ball. You see Ulster a little bit lateral on this occasion. Chris Henry does very well to straighten up. They recycle the ball, but just little errors are robbing Ulster of the opportunity to get any real flow and pattern into their game. Nick Williams bouncing to a third and then looking to offload and just hitting Lewis Stevenson in the face, unfortunately.
Well, Ulster are going to make an enforced change as we look again at some of the bruising work by Nick Williams. And Adam Darcy has left the field after only his second game this season, and Ricky Andrew is coming on to play his 5th game. So that's a bit unfortunate. No Jared Payne, remember. Got a slight ongoing groin problem, so he was rested last week and has been rested for this one. That really is unfortunate. Waited such a long time to get his opportunity, and when it came, well, he didn't really fulfill his potential.
Get up that side.
Not a bad Clonethley scrum. Jonathan Davis down to Andrew. Well, ambitious stuff by Andrew, and he's got himself caught, though. He has to make sure he releases it.
Use it!
Leighton Hodges saying use it. Ulster inside their 22, and nice work again between Pienaar and Jackson. Well taken quickly though. This is Dan Newton. Saw a bit of space on this side. And that's going to be an Ulster line-out, and the Scarlets are playing a very clever percentage game at the moment.
They certainly are in that middle section of the pitch. They're not looking to over-elaborate. They're kicking for territory, and then they're muscling up defensively and forcing Ulster to play from deep.
That was a very clever kick. Nobody at home for Ulster. Five-man Ulster line-out. Nick Williams in the scrum half position. Oh, that's dreadful. Taken on by Jonathan Edwards. Great chance now for the Scarlets. Referee's got the hand out for a penalty against Ulster. And at the moment, Ulster are not playing well at all.
Tackle and release.
Man who made the tackle didn't release the man with the ball. And Leighton Hodges has given a penalty to the Scarlets, and I'm pretty sure they'll go for the post here.
Yeah, that's the benefit of playing that territory. As we see the overthrow here on the line, it looks like a communication error. No one actually got up to compete for that ball, and then as you see the tackle affected, very difficult for Nick Williams to get out of the way there. He's affected the tackle, but he seems to be trapped, and the referee adjudicating that he hadn't rolled away, and further opportunity for 3 more.
A little bit of a foot went in from the Scarlet skipper Rob McCusker. The referee let it go. There's the man who set it up, Jonathan Edwards, 28-year-old. And a chance now for the Scarlets to double their lead. We're still inside the opening quarter here at Ravenhill. And the crowd very quiet at the moment, but from an Ulster perspective, they've had pretty little to enthuse over. Much more difficult than the first one for Alan Thomas. And he has more than scuffed that one. And that's a bit of a let-off for Ulster. 16 minutes played. They could well have been 6-0 down. As it is, it's Ulster 0 and Scarlets 3.
It's been very impressive from the Scarlets. They've come here with obviously a predetermined game plan, but they've had the discipline and they've applied the structure, and they're certainly putting that into very good effect.
Christian Phillips, McCusker the captain, into Luke Marshall. Good go forward ball by the Scarlets. Tavis Noyle has a little pop. A little bit of blocking there by Ulster. Phil John, I think, thought Robbie Dyack was hanging on to him and swung a punch. Here's McCusker, well tackled. More fancy footwork. Thomas. This is the hooker. In fact, it's Adrianza, the tight head prop, Tavis Noyle. There's the big Tongan second row forward, Sione Tamani. First time he's had the ball on those big paws of his. Noyle, Alec Thomas. It was Dan Newton, in fact, at outside half. Brisk stuff by the Scarlets. Again, Ulster's cover defence is pretty good. Noyle thinking about a little kick, and he does just that. Well, that's a very nasty kick for Ricky Andrew. Well taken. Has Trimble in support. That's good work by Andrew. Paddy Jackson in the right position. Pienaar. Taken in by North. He is so strong. Noyle. Here they come again. Dan Newton. Davis outside him. Darren Cave was the Ulsterman who made the tackle. Noyle.
Now, hold here one.
And the scorer's forced a kick, which I think is indicative of how good Ulster's defence is.
Yeah, good pattern of defence, but the structure we spoke about before, the Scarlets, they go 2 or 3 phases. If they're not making any inroads, they look for that tactical kick into the Ulster 22. Pressure on the line out. They're really controlling possession and they're controlling territory.
And there's another Ulster player injured, and it's Tom Court.
Sort this out here. See 1 white and 6 red.
Might just be, yeah, I think it's just, what do you call those things that you put in your eyes if you can't see properly? Contact lenses, that's the stuff. Contact lenses. Bit of good scrambling, tackling there by Luke Marshall. Tom Court seems to be fine again. And it's going to be an Ulster line-out, and from an Ulster perspective, the communication had better be a lot better than the last one. Coming up to the end of the first quarter, Ulster having to make a change. Ricky Andrew on a full-back for the injured Adam Darcy. Ulster trailing by 3 points to 0. Here's Herring. Straightforward ball. Ulster inside the 22. Referee will tell them to play it. Pienaar is inside the 22, so he can kick. And he does kick. Has he got the right bit of spiral on that? Not too bad at all. Newton tries to get away from Gilroy. Got it to, that was Newton, in fact. That looked a bit on the forward side, and the crowd said, yes, I'm not sure about that. That didn't look too bad from here.
Yeah, always difficult when the player's running laterally and he fires that pass and then runs on the arc. It certainly gives the illusion of it being forward, but looking for that space once again from the Scarlets.
Yes, it was actually passed inside the 10-metre line and came to ground outside the 10-metre line. And you couldn't argue there was a strong wind blowing it in Ulster faces.
Stay where you are.
20 minutes gone, 3 points between them. He's going to have a word with the two hookers.
We've got movement, okay? I'm going to make the mark, set up to the left, set up to the left. If either of you move, you can be liable to sanction. Is that clear? Yeah.
Well, referee laying down the law in terms of where they should be standing when the front rows come together. Rob Herring and Emir Phillips being spoken to. Crowd still relatively quiet.
Touch! Set!
Solid Ulster scrum. Collapsed on the loose head side of the Scarlets. And this, I think, is within kicking range. Adam Macklin gets a pat on the head from his skipper, Chris Henry. Phil John, I think the man was been penalised for just bending inward. And as always, of course, he's pleading his innocence.
I'm sure Ulster will welcome the respite of being in their own territory, an opportunity now to post those 3 points, square up the scoreboard, and they'll certainly hope the next 20 minutes is more in their favour than the first 20.
Well, it's been a pretty average start by this Ulster side. Lost 2 of the last 3 games. The Heineken Cup game here at home to the Northampton Saints. Had a much-needed boost by the win against Leinster last time at Ravenhill, and then and under strength side went down to Munster last week in Limerick. First chance of points of the evening for Ruan Pienaar. Yeah, struck that well, and Ruan Pienaar has put it between the opposition posts. So 22 minutes gone, and back in level terms. Ulster 3, Scarlets 3.
And you feel that Ulster would welcome the opportunity for a little bit of ball in hand. Haven't really been able to impose themselves on the Scarlet team because they haven't had that vital possession.
And that was the scrum that brought the penalty, and the penalty was kicked by Ruan Pienaar. I think the Scarlets may well be making a replacement. I think then the open side flanker Jonathan Edwards is going off. More on that in a moment. Knocked back by Ulster. Dan Tui a little bit on the upright side. Sets it up nicely for Pienaar, who's outside his 22. He's given that a lovely clip. Gilroy, a wonderful take at the back by the Scarlets full-back Dan Newton. Noyle. Scarlets have a hint of an overlap here if they can get this ball wide. Jonathan Davis, steps inside. Darren Cave. Good covering by Ulster. Here come the Scarlets again. Gareth Maul into Lewis Stevenson. Tavis Noyle, Phil John, Adriansa. Nick Williams made the tackle for Ulster. Williams trying to get out of the way. Alan Thomas. Stevenson again, helped by Cave. Noyle. George North, given no room by Robbie Dyack. Good tackle by the South African flanker.
Use it!
Noyle. That's nice and flat. Back inside. Gareth Maul tries to set it up and does so. Crowd getting behind their home side, who are tackling well. Great work again by Lewis Stevenson, who's really grafted. Tavis Noyle though. Emmer Phillips taken on by Tumani. Referee, you may have heard say the pass was flat, and Dan Tui has ripped that away. Referee's playing advantage to the Scarlets for a knock-on, and can they take advantage? Here's Davis, who's been busy. Little chip through by Christian Phillips. Ruan Pienaar. He may well steady himself and go for the kick, but he's having a go, and he's got away. Wonderful pick-up by Ricky Andrew. He's on his own. Great counter by Ulster. Pienaar gets back into position very quickly. Jackson. Cross kick now for Craig Gilroy. Oh, well gathered by the Scarlets. Wonderful stuff by Alan Thomas. What a game this is turning out to be. Here's Jonathan Davis, who's seriously quick. Wonderful recovery by Craig Gilroy. Plenty of white jerseys get back to help. Here goes Williams inside to Tom Court. Well taken on by Henry. Fabulous defence, knocked forward by Henry in the tackle. And the referee will bring them back. The Scarlets not getting any advantage. And I pause for breath. What a passage, Mr. C.
Yeah, well, that game certainly came to light there, all triggered by Pienaar having a run from deep and then exchanging possession there. Some excellent work from the kick ahead. Pienaar showing that pace to get out of trouble. A number of players tracking him and keeping the ball in hand, and a wonderful pick-up from Ricky Andrews from the bootlaces. And then it was the Scarlets who had an opportunity to attack. Certainly the game coming to life.
Well, Jackson hit that absolutely perfectly, but brilliantly read by Alan Thomas. And this could have been dangerous, and Gilroy did wonderfully to get back, and assisted by Paddy Jackson. Ulster cleared their lines. Williams, Tom Court, great hands by the prop forward. And Ulster skipper Chris Henry dispossessed in the tackle. I can confirm that Craig Price, wearing number 20, has come on for the Scarlets in place of the injured Josh Turnbull, number 6, who's gone off.
Gone down, we'll reset.
But Josh Turnbull is still on there.
So is it binding?
It's Jonathan Edwards has gone off, I beg your pardon, the number 7. Jonathan Edwards has gone off.
Scrum, red. Both on this side, you've got to go straight and get your binds up straight away.
Good, ready, good.
Up. Binds up straight away, height into the hit, okay? Just watch this side then, okay, Sean? Thank you.
It's the big blonde fella there, Craig Price. In quickly by the Scarlets. Ulster get the wheel round. That's a penalty against the Scarlets.
Red 3 to ground. Red 3 to ground. 3 to ground.
Jacobi Adrianza, according to the referee, went to ground.
Touch judge, assistant referee, just giving that warning to the referee and trusting in the judgment and awarding the penalty.
And Paddy Jackson finds a pretty decent touch for an Ulster side that need a few more points. Ulster not in any rush, it seems, to get up to this line-out. Straightforward to Tui. Spoiled a little bit by the Scarlets, who came right through. But legally, obviously, since no penalty was given.
White ball.
And they've won the scrummage.
No more ever falling, the ball's on the ground. White going forward.
Like we said, the ball had touched the ground, which means that it's a ruck situation. Off the ground, in hand, it's a maul situation.
White ball.
So because Ulster were going forward and the ball was on the ground, they get to put into the scrummage. So Ulster going to plan a little move. Craig Gilroy has moved infield. He's just, as you can see, just slightly behind her.
Straight and square.
To Paddy Jackson's left.
Height.
This is all about securing good scrum ball from an Ulster perspective.
Crouch. Touch. Set.
Good squeeze. Ulster would have wanted that a little bit more quickly.
Lads, we both slipped down. You can tell from the ground there. We'll re-scrum. White ball. And let's come over a little bit.
Nathan Hodges has given another scrum to Ulster, deeming that that one was inconclusive. If you're going to do a planned back move, you want it quickly.
Yeah, you certainly want stability from it so that you can anticipate when the service is coming. All of the players in those pre-rehearsed moves will have their triggers and when they need to start their run, and that needs to come from a stable base.
That line is the Scarlets 22. Good shove by the Scarlets, but they get it. Ulster get it away. Paddy Jackson inside to Gilroy. Gilroy does well. Makes good ground. They need this quickly. Pienaar gets it away. Robbie Dyack back to the original start position. Options on both sides. Pienaar takes that one. Cave, nicely done. Ricky Andrew up from fullback. Pienaar again. Taken on by Adam Macklin. Pienaar. Dyack. Bit of a gap appeared. Good tackle by Tavis Noyle. Ball coming back on the Ulster side a wee bit more slowly than they would have wished for. Now the crowd start to get behind their side. Pienaar, Gilroy. Well policed. Ulster piling bodies in. Holding on the tackle by Ulster. That's great defence by the Scarlets.
Yeah, excellent stuff under a lot of pressure. Ulster attacking that line, and the Scarlets doing very well to secure possession. Just isolated for a fraction of a second as we see the scrum ball bobbling around at the back. Williams does particularly well. Ulster go through that rehearse move. A little half gap for Gilroy, who's deadly from that range. And then as Ulster go through the phases, this is the section here. Excellent over the ball there from Davies. I think it is international calibre. And then other players backing that up in the turnover.
And that's the touch-finding kick. And because it was a penalty, it's going to be a Scarlets throw. In the last 10 minutes of this game, very, very evenly poised. First 10 minutes really dominated by the Scarlets. Ulster have come back into it a little bit more.
please. Whites, just step. Okay.
Emma Phillips in his third season with the Scarlets. Good take by Josh Turnbull. It's gone to ground, so Tavis Noyle is going to have to use it, and that means a kick, and that's not a bad one. Wonderful by Trimble. Gets it away, Herring. Oh. Play on, says the referee. It was knocked forward by the Scarlets. Darren Cave needs to keep the ball secure. Pinar, Andrew at outside half. Chris Henry. Well tackled by Phil John. Williams gets away, surprised everybody. Could do with some help. Needs to hang on to it. Too often throws it haphazardly out of the back of his hand. Well, cleaning out with the hand against the Scarlets. Ulster get the penalty. It was touch and go.
Yeah, wonderful take by Andrew Trimble, and then the presence of mind to offload that ball. Paddy Jackson under a lot of pressure trying to flick it on. And then we see Nick Williams doing very well. Was he the last man? Probably wasn't the last man in that ruck, hence the surprised look on the Scarlets' face, but not a man you want to see running at you with 10 metres space between you. Very good work from the last tackler on that occasion, and Ulster getting the penalty after a pile up there at the ruck.
Well, Nick Williams, like Jared Payne, has scored 5 league tries so far this season. Andrew Trimble just behind them on 4.
Stay straight and square. And if anything's happening, it's easy for me to see.
We're just having a little word with Tom Court, who's asking him a question or two about the scrummaging. So having brought Ulster level just about 10 minutes ago, can Ruan Pinar put Ulster ahead for the first time in this game? Effortless stuff from Ruan Pinar. But 6 minutes and a bit more remaining to the interval, and Ulster go ahead for the very first time. 6-3 to the home side.
Yeah, a little bit more colour coming into the game. This last 10 minutes been thoroughly entertaining. You felt that this would be a high-scoring game at the start. Perfect conditions, 2 teams that want to play rugby, 1 and 2 on the table, turning into a bit of a dogfight.
Thomas, that's a good restart kick. Tui.
Cleon has gone backwards.
It's gone backwards, says the referee. Williams gets it away to Tui. Here's Tui. Rob Herring takes it forward. Pinar. Jackson. Bit of width now. Here's Cave. Luke Marshall. Good enterprise by Ulster's young back division. Now Pinar. Jackson. Tom Court. Good sidestep. Did he throw it away? He did, but play on, says the referee. Knocked forward by the Scarlets. Still a chance for Ulster. Pinar. Here's Jackson. Gilroy. Oh, Gilroy does well as ever. Good support by Robbie Dyack. Pinar there quickly. Herring. Solid Scarlets defending. Ricky Andrew. Dangerous stuff. Oh, couldn't quite get it.
Advantage red.
Referee's playing advantage to the Scarlets. If George North had gathered that one, Ryan, I think he was gone.
No advantage red, you're isolated there, not forward.
There's a little bit of wildness there in Ulster's play. Just need to settle themselves down.
Yeah, the Scarlets, I think, need to take some credit defensively. They've been impenetrable this whole half. You saw at the start of the game, Simon Easterby laying down the law, very vocal, and they really have responded, and that's made it difficult for Ulster. But you feel if they can continue to play with this sort of tempo, get that offloading game going, eventually they'll be able to break down this impressive Scarlets defence.
Well, I don't know what's happened to Dan Tui. He had been suffering for the last 2 or 3 weeks with a calf strain, which kept him out of the last couple of games. He said he was 100% fit when I spoke to him before the game, but something has happened and Dan Tui has gone off the field and Neil McComb has come on.
Stand back on.
Yeah, when he was carrying the ball in the previous passage of play, just pulled up a little bit with that calf, dropped down and started stretching it, maybe thought it was cramped, but probably not taking any risks with Dan Tui at this stage. And Neil McComb, able deputies, played well this season, and I'm sure will relish the opportunity of being on so early.
Well, McComb coming on for his 26th game.
Crouch! Touch!
Certainly won't weaken the power in the scrummage. Better by the Scarlets. Newton. Trimble and Andrew there. That's an awkward bounce. Trimble now outside his 22, so he'll have to run it, and run it he does. Aggressive handoff by the ever-aggressive Trimble. Pienaar, Jackson put in a good call. Well taken by Luke Marshall, gets away. Just needs to hang on. There's a wee tendency just to offload too quickly, perhaps, by Paddy Jackson. Court was in front of him. Chris Henry, not much in the way of options there. Ulster with dummy runners just getting in the way of the ball carrier. Scarlets give away another penalty.
Time off for a second, it's going to be a penalty here.
And the penalty actually has been given for dissent, and the referee, Leighton Hodges, has had a word with the Scarlet skipper, Jonathan Edwards. And he said that he'd spoken to the hooker, Emmer Phillips, and this time it was Jonathan Davis was the culprit, so he's not taking any old back chat.
I think Jonathan Davies was standing there pointing to the ruck and shouting something at the referee, trying to get the penalty for the Scarlets, and referee taking objection to that and awarding Ulster the penalty. It'll be a cheap 3 points if Ulster can get this.
Well, at this stage of the game, at this stage of the season, and when you're playing the side who's in second place and you're leading, you'll take the cheap 3 points. Oh, that's the best of the three by Ruan Pienaar. So 3 penalties for Ruan Pienaar. Ulster leading by 9 points to 3 with just a couple of minutes to go to half-time.
They've had to work pretty hard to establish that margin of 9-3. Won't want to relinquish any cheap points coming into half-time, and we'll look to build on that shift in momentum we've seen in the last 15 minutes of this game.
Simon Easterby, the former outstanding Ireland Lions back row forward, looking on anxiously. Here's Williams, brushes Phillips out of his way.
Use it!
Pienaar told to use it. It's for Craig Gilroy to chase. Underneath it is Dan Newton, who does well. Gilroy complaining he was blocked by Tavis Noyle. Well, George North gets away from one tackle and a second. Ulster have squeezed him toward the touchline. Noyle got across very quickly. Taken on by Josh Turnbull. Ulster have held him off the ground, and this could be interesting. The referee blows his whistle. It might be an Ulster scrummage, and it is off the ground, and that's going to be an Ulster scrum. Fabulous piece of play by Chris Henry and by Lewis Stevenson.
Definitely more. Turnover.
Yeah, the ability to turn that ball over when opposition taking the ball into contact just a fraction high. It's Chris Henry goes into the tackle, low body height, going from down to up. That raises the body height of the Scarlets player, and Ulster players there to capitalise.
This might well be the last set piece of this
Mark,
first half. Hasn't really burst into life apart from a little purple patch in the middle of the half. Ulster started poorly, conceded an opening penalty, very nearly conceded another one in terms of it being converted, but have come back with 3 of their own. Bit of a squeeze by the Scarlets. Pienaar on the narrow side. And Trimble legs it down that far touchline. And there may well be time for the line out for the Scarlets. But that's just kept the lid on it nicely by Pienaar. He made sure that his touch was going to be found. And if the Scarlets are going to do anything, they've got to do it from about 80 metres from the opposition line.
They also get an opportunity to pressurise this line out, try and squeeze a couple more points before the half-time break.
Marshall Kilgore, the TMO, saying in Leighton Hodges' ear, it's your time, anytime you like. So next time it goes dead, that'll be the end of the half. Well taken in by the Scarlets.
Hold.
Noyle. That goes into touch, it's half time. Hasn't got into touch, he's found Trimble, he's found Ricky Andrew. Nearly lost his footing. Williams, Jackson.
8 white.
That's not a bad kick by Jackson, but it's going to be the end of the first half. It's not going to matter. That's a fabulous tactical kick by Paddy Jackson, but Ulster will get no advantage from it because Leighton Hodges has blown his whistle. And there's the man on the occasion of his 50th cap who's given Ulster the lead. Alan Thomas was the man who put the visitors into the lead, but 3 in a row from the half centurion has meant that at half-time here at Ravenhill, thanks to Ruan Pienaar's unerring kicking, it's Ulster 9 and the Scarlets 3.
Well, a top-of-the-table tussle was always going to be tight. A match of fine margins on a perfect evening for a game of rugby at Ravenhill. Alan Thomas knocked over one of his 2 penalty opportunities, but Ruan Pienaar on his 50th cap simply couldn't miss. 3 out of 3 to give Ulster a half-time lead. The Scarlets have felt the pain of his boot before, and this game could well come down to whoever makes the most of their chances in the second half. Ulster lead by 9 points to 3. Well, Bryn Cunningham and Andy Ward have been enjoying that first half with me. Ulster deservedly in front at half-time, Bryn?
I think they probably are. 2 very different 20-minute periods.
Yeah.
The first 20, Scarlets in total control, both territorially and with possession as well. Their offloading looked very good, and Ulster made a few errors. Then 22 minutes of the game, it just lit up, and Ulster started to take control, and they dominated that second 20.
Now, Ulster had to weather a storm from the Scarlets earlier on, who played a very tactical game, played for plenty of possession.
Yeah, they have, and it's very evident in this first first half what they're looking to do. They're trying to put it back and force Ulster back into the corner, apply some pressure, and then come away with some points and spoils. But it's a credit to Ulster. I think they've stuck to their guns. They've been clinical when they needed to be clinical, and the right decisions being made at the right times by the right people.
It certainly wasn't a perfect first half by either side, and Ulster guilty of making a few errors at times.
Well, they did. They made a few errors, or a few handling errors. I think it's always whenever there's one mistake, you don't want to compound it with another. There were 1 or 2 poor passes, and they compounded that by shoveling it on further, and that put them under pressure. You know, one miscommunication at a line-out, an important line-out in their own 22, also put them under a lot of pressure. So it's little things like that they just had to iron out, and I think here we see exactly that. And for me, that's not so much an overthrow, that's probably a miscommunication. Somebody got the call wrong, and that puts Ulster under an awful lot of pressure.
Yeah, they're just going through it. But Ulster have just stuck their guns. They're playing some enterprising stuff. They're trying to run the game, and it's 2 teams, as I think it was mentioned in the commentary, that come out to try and play some rugby. You're always going to get this little bit of to-in and fro-in, but the decisions Ulster are managing to keep the ball fairly well, although credit to the Scarlets, they've been breakdown time, have been very, very competitive, and they've slowed Ulster's momentum. It's only the last 4 or 5 minutes of this first half that Ulster has started to get that quicker ball that we like to thrive on.
And that's when we've seen a big difference from Ulster, when they get the quick ball.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Andy's quite right. Scarlets have been very, very good at the breakdown area. They've managed to get one guy to the breakdown a little bit quicker sometimes than Ulster. That means they're getting over the ball, they're forcing penalties, they're slowing the ball up, and Ulster can't get their game moving. Now, the second 20 was totally different. They started getting their game going, they got quick ball, they were able to generate that quicker ball. Pienaar was flashing that ball, and you could see the backs now starting to make inroads into the Scarlets' defence.
It's been interesting, we talked at the top of the show about some key matchups in the backs, and ironically they haven't really, we hardly heard George North's name being mentioned in their first half. Trimble's taken some fantastic high ball, and Gilroy's had probably the most outstanding of those 4 players. So it's just interesting this way the game goes. I'll be really looking forward to that battle. But Ulster, I think, up front, scrum's under a little bit of pressure. They need to get that sorted. Obviously, they've got John O'Farrell in the wings, and if we see him run on, that should help to shore that side of it up. So, but Ulster are doing very, very well, and I think if they just keep building momentum from what and generate I think we'll come out on top of this.
Nick Williams has been a nuisance. He's been guilty of giving a couple of penalties away, but his physical presence has been evident.
I think that's what you're going to get with Nick Williams every time he plays. You have to accept that he will make the odd mistake, whether it's a handling error or whether it's giving away a penalty. But what he makes up for that, is in mountains. I mean, he is fantastic going forward. He takes players, out of the game all the time. And what Lewis Stevenson just wasn't quite prepared for there was a little pop pass. And whenever Nick Williams is involved, you have to be ready for anything, because he's capable of producing offloads and little breaks against. He looks up, he just spots a space, takes everybody by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big man, and that was a fantastic tackle. That tackle that had to be made there. But he's getting himself about. He's growing as the game goes on. He's throwing himself around. That's what we like to see, Nick Williams. He just creates that little perfect pass and really offloads and get boys going forward. And that's where Ulster have been so strong this year. Little bits of inspiration by certain players. Nick's standing up to the plate, and he's getting that team going forward. And Ulster are very good on front football when it's happening for them.
And there was one particular passage of play during that first half which really lit up Ravenhill, didn't it, Bryn?
It did, yeah. I think we all got pretty excited. It was great play from both sides. The Scarlets started it off with some enterprise play, very, very good handling, a little kick through, but Pinar, rather than just take a safe option and kick the touch, he decides to have a crack, and it's very, very good play. A little show of the ball, good handling there as well, by Ricky Andrew, and the momentum's now all Ulster's moving forward. And this is where, as we just mentioned, our Ulster are at their best.
Yeah, I just don't know whether we probably should have kicked that ball away. The idea was right. I mean, listen, we wouldn't be having this conversation had that ball gone to a man in white, but through the hands there was acres of space there. We could see what he was trying to do. But this is one of the longest facets of play I've seen in the game of rugby in the last 2 months. Both teams, as Ryan said in the commentary.
And good covering play by Craig Gilroy there as well.
Super.
To get back.
There you go. Nick Williams, bit of momentum.
Yeah, no, it was great play by Gilroy to get back there. But going back to Chris Henry, unfortunate there, didn't see the tackler coming from behind. But a great piece of play all round, I think, from both sides. I think where Paddy Jackson was trying to do there was, he knew the numbers were out wide, and by passing the ball it slows the play down a bit. He looked to hit a slightly flatter kick out there to get it out into the winger's hands nice and early, and that's where the opportunity could have been.
Yeah, I mean, Ruan Pinar on his 50th cap has turned in an outstanding performance so far. He's almost taken a lot of the pressure off Paddy Jackson, because he's making a lot of the decisions tonight.
Very much so, and he's so cool. I mean, he ran that ball out from the 22. He didn't panic at that point. A lot of players would have got that ball, I'm in my 22, I need to clear the lines and take the pressure off. He's so cool and calm and collected. We talked about at the top of the show, he's like Cool Hand Luke. He really does orchestrate this team and make the right decisions at the right time, and just takes so much pressure from youngster Paddy. And I'm sure Paddy is so delighted he's got someone of that experience inside him, and he watches pass, it's perfect every time.
And Bryn, his kicking tonight, not just his place kicking but his box kicking as well, has been top drawer.
His box kicking is outstanding. It takes so much pressure off the team. From inside his own 22, he can box kick to the opposite 10 and still give his wingers opportunities to challenge for the ball, and you can't buy that. Sometimes you see nines hit the ball that little bit too far. Very dangerous against sides who like to counter attack, who've got pace in the back three. But Pinar makes sure that he doesn't do that. He doesn't allow them those opportunities, but he makes sure that he gets it far enough upfield that it takes them out of their red zone as well.
Okay, thank you, Bryn. Thank you, Andy, for the moment. Time now for our regular halftime feature, and because it's the new year, we thought this week we'd ask some of the Ulster squad about their resolutions.
Pinar has to go himself, flipped it inside, Court picks up. What a pick up by Court. What a score by the international prop.
I've actually got a few New Year's resolutions. First of all, is just to enjoy the simple things in life. Second of all, don't let all the has-beens and never was get you down. Always strive to be better. And lastly, I think we might see if we can get maybe hashtag Angry Tom on the pitch a few more times.
New Year resolution this year has got to be to stop hogging the PlayStation at home on Nal, Annette and Rory schools. It's not fair that I get to beat them every time we play FIFA. I don't have any New Year's resolutions because I don't really believe in them, and I also think people struggle to keep them and probably don't make it for the first week or two, so I don't believe in New Year's resolutions.
Ruan Pinar, and can he do no wrong, this amazing Springbok?
If you're perfect, you don't need any.
No, not at all. No, I just don't believe in it.
My New Year's resolution on the rugby pitch is to score more tries and stop that all the back scoring.
Here go Ulster, and Henry's got the try.
and my New Year's resolution off the pitch is to learn how to cook.
My New Year's resolution is to try and smile a little bit more during games. Thank you.
My wife would like it to be that I took a bit more care of my weight and my conditioning, and so I suppose I'll start off with that. My New Year's resolution this year is to lose some weight and keep myself in better shape.
Get the six-pack back.
Exactly, if it's possible.
I'm glad to see the Ulster coach Mark Anscombe smiling, because he says I portray him as a bit of a grump all the time. That's absolutely not fair. We heard Neil Doak there making his New Year's resolution, said he was going to smile more during games. Take a look at this, because it hasn't worked, has it?
Well, we're less than a week in and he's broken it already. not a great start, is it?
He's a definitely worried man right there, huh?
Let's hear what the director of rugby, David Humphreys' resolution is for the new year. He's talking to Gavin.
Okay, well, Stephen's asked it. What is your New Year's resolution, David?
I think probably looking back in the last 12 months was a great 12 months, so next year to be even better.
Okay, intriguing first half. What was your take on it?
A little bit frustrating. I think we struggled a little bit with field position to build some pressure on the Scarlets, possibly part and due to the wind, which we didn't feel up in the stadium, now on the pitch. But at the same time, we probably more disappointingly lacked a little bit of a physical edge in and around the breakdown, both offensively and defensively. I think I walked past the change room and I heard Mark shouting a little bit at them. So I think the second half we'll be looking to bring a little bit more of an edge to our game.
First against second, I suppose it was always going to be tight and cagey.
It's going to be a tight game, but I think you always, it's a bit of a cliche, but you talk about how you're going to play. We haven't played the way we wanted to play. You can maybe put a little bit down to some of the players not having played for a little bit of time over Christmas. But I think the second half, hopefully we will manage to put some passes and some phases together.
And Ruan Pienaar in his 50th cap, I suppose he's as clinical as ever and expecting more of the same in the second half.
I think everybody's spoken so highly about Ruan since he's come, and the performances he's produced week in, week out for us. And again tonight he's controlled very well, and the second half hopefully he can do more of the same.
Okay, David, thanks for your time. Steve.
Is Ruan Pienaar Ulster Rugby's best ever signing?
He has to be up there, doesn't he? I think there are a couple of them here right now. John Afoe is up there as well. I think that's probably the biggest difference that's happened over the last couple of years. Is the quality of the overseas signings has just been outstanding, and they've added something pretty special to this Ulster team.
And John Afoe, we can see there is coming on in the second half. That will shore up the Ulster scrum even further, but it was an impressive scrum, impressive set piece for Ulster first half, Andy.
Yeah, it went quite well. I just think in the last 5 minutes it started to fall away a little bit in the scrum there, and technically John Afoe is going to bring something completely different to this whole thing, and the platform that hopefully will give Nick Williams to go forward. A little bit of front foot ball from the scrum. It hasn't quite been that front foot ball that we'd want and really go at. If we can get Nick Williams running at an out half, that just pulls it in, creates a little overlap out wide. So hopefully those will all go to plan.
As we hear Paddy Wallace is coming on as a replacement as well. What do Ulster have to do to close this game out? Is it all about controlling possession second half?
I think it's continuing to play the way they played in that second 20 in the first half. They played with an intensity and a pace to the game which we're used to seeing all season. They were a little bit more clinical and more precise as well, which is obviously very important, and obviously making sure that and we can see everybody getting the spirit of things as well.
We're not doing the Gangnam Style, if that's what it is called.
Man's been doing
Keep up with the kids. No, we're not doing that in the studio. We saw Sparky in the crowd getting into the spirit of it there. But the second half as the Scarlets started to come out.
I think David's hit the nail on the head where they need to keep the ball when they're down on that 22 and just build some pressure and momentum and come away with more tangible points at that point. Without the ball, you can't build pressure. So keep the ball, build pressure, make the team Scarlets come under more pressure.
Okay, it's time for the second half. Ulster have that 6-point advantage, leading by 9 points to 3. Can they close it out in the second half? Let's return to our commentary team, Ryan Constable and Jim Neely.
Well, thanks, Stephen. Thanks, chaps. Nice to have Mr. Constable back. You enjoyed your month back in your native Oz, did you?
It was far too hot, Jim. You wouldn't have liked it at all. Down on the beach, around the pool, but
every day.
Glad to be back at Ravenhill. Friday nights at Ravenhill.
I bet you are. Well, John Afoe has come on. I thought the chaps were a bit harsh in terms of Afoe coming on to shore up the scrum. I thought Adam Macklin had a pretty good first half, and it was only his third ever start for Ulster in the tight head proposition, and tied up proposition. Ulster got a couple of penalties from scrum, so he must have been doing something right. But John Afoe has come on. There's the man who's got all the Ulster points. Ruan Pienaar just walking out of camera, and Paddy Wallace has come on. So there is Ruan Pienaar, and it's going to be Ulster to get the second half underway. John Afoe wearing number 18, Paddy Wallace wearing number 22. Wallace has come on for Luke Marshall, and Afoe for Adam Macklin. And there's Paddy, Ulster's most capped player. Taken in straight away by the Scarlets and by Gareth Moore, standing in the wing. Ulster trying to get the pressure on straight away and do what the Scarlets did to them in the opening 10 minutes or so. Good platform though. Tavis Noid, Pienaar very nearly did one of those trademark charge downs. Foot and touch there. But it was kicked from inside the 22, so it's going to be an Ulster line-out. First line-out of the second half. Remember, Neil McComb on. Craig Gilroy has had a couple of chances, a lot more than he did a week ago down in Munster, when he was restricted to very little in the way of attacking ploys. Nick Williams up to number 2 on the Ulster line-out. Stevenson, Chris Henry tidied it in. Stevenson got the initial touch to it though. Ulster just trying to shunt themselves forward. Ruan Pienaar saying, keep going, keep going. Rob Herring is still there. That's good work by the Ulster hooker. Craig Price trying to strip it away from him. Pienaar, ooh, that was dangerous. Paddy Wallace right on the gain line. He's made a decent bit of ground. Scarlets told to release. Pienaar gets it away. Jackson, Darren Cave. Right in the Ulster faces, this Clonlechty defence. Play on, says the referee. That was well done by Price. Pienaar completely ambushed. Great steal by the Scarlets. Now can they make something of it? Alan Thomas. Well, that's a good kick by Alan Thomas at Ulster, where they don't want to be, and that's well inside their own 22.
Yeah, turnover ball always difficult. You're in an attacking alignment. You need to switch quickly into a defensive alignment. And Thomas has done it well all game, seeking that space in behind, and you can judge for yourself whether that was hindmost foot coming through, but excellent work, the turnover, and then that awareness of where the space is and kicking into it. Pressure once again on Ulster.
Herring.
It's in the 5, it's over.
Pienaar, one fluid movement. What a stonking kick that is by Pienaar. That really does give forward such a boost. When they work hard, they get the ball back, and this fella rewards their efforts. That's the kick of the evening out of hand.
Yeah, to get that sort of distance from almost a box kick is unbelievable. Well set up, but on this occasion didn't go for the height to make it contestable. Had the option of being inside the 22 and gave it one almighty hoof.
Stolen by Ulster. John Afoe straight into it. Pienaar, Jackson, Paddy Wallace, Jackson again, Ricky Andrew, got Trimble outside him. Good solid run by Andrew, taken down by Jonathan Davis. Williams, nice pass, Herring has to give it. Oh, it's going to be a try for Robbie Dyack. What a start to the second half by Ulster. Robbie Dyack in for his 5th league try. Well, he deserves that one. But beautifully constructed and splendidly finished. And Ulster now where they probably feel they should be.
Yeah, it was an excellent piece of lead-up work that came from it. And Ulster stretching it out. Robbie Dyack was instrumental in gaining that initial turnover in possession. Ulster then go into that wide channel, and it's the flat ball that Nick Williams takes 2 defenders, the ability to offload in the tackle, and some clinical finishing of the 2-on-1 by Ulster.
No mistake by Ruan Pienaar, and from 9-3 up at the interval, Ulster now are 16-3 ahead.
And it's just the flatness that this takes place in. The defenders unable, they're on the back foot, Ulster taking it flat to the line, and Nick Williams, a horrible sight to see, coming at that pace at the defensive line. Some clinical finishing by Ulster.
It's a good restart kick. Well taken by Lewis Stevenson. Missed 6 games in a row because of a knee injury. Here's the try scorer, Robbie Dyack. Irish qualified, remember, was Ulster's first special project player, Paddy Jackson.
7 white. Good.
Giving that a bit of a belt, hasn't he? All the way back goes his opposite number.
Red hold.
Alan Thomas hasn't found his touch. Andrew Jackson with Trimble outside him. Jackson decides to keep the lid on it. Now, where's this going to kick? It's going to kick nicely enough for Gareth Maul, who's done a lot of covering. That's gone into touch, and Ulster and Craig Gilroy thought about a quick one but decided against it. Well, what a dramatic start to the second half. Ulster, remember, 3 points to 0 down after 8 minutes of the first half. By half-time, Ruan Pienaar had landed 3 penalties and has now converted Robbie Diak's try. Once again, the crowd getting behind the home side. Good take by Neil McComb. Also getting the squeeze on. Referee is asking the Scarlets backline to retreat because that was still a line-out, and they haven't done that 10-metre retreat, and Ulster still driving forward. This is much better work. You can see the influence of a foe in all of this. Here's Pienaar. Maul. Taken by Christian Phillips. Jackson covers. Andrews got Trimble outside him. That's for Trimble to chase. Bit of obstruction there, surely. Bit of crossing as well, but Trimble was well and truly taken out. I think it was Craig Price just kept an eye on Trimble and deliberately stepped in front of him. We'll have another look at that.
A good weight on the high ball and just dropping the shoulder there at the last minute, and very evident for everyone to see, including the referee. And option now for Ulster to kick for goal, extend that margin further. They're very happy with the way this first 6 minutes has gone.
Asking for decisions, yeah?
Chris Henry and Leighton Hodges having words. Nothing too serious. So Pienaar now with this chance to put 2 converted tries between the sides. Not the easiest kick in the world for Ruan Pienaar. Quite a long way out, just to the right of the visitors' posts. Oh, beautiful again. So that's 5 out of 5 for Ruan Pienaar. 4 penalties and a conversion. 14 points to the South African, and Ulster now leading by 19 points to 3.
And that 16-point margin may liberate Ulster further and allow them to play with a bit more freedom, looking to increase that tempo with fast-paced ball. They're very difficult to stop.
Diak, Jackson. Well taken by Josh Turnbull. Now Pienaar again. Again, he seems to get extraordinary distance on it. Well taken in by Christian Phillips.
Red, keep coming. Keep coming out too.
Jackson, Ricky Andrew. Got a couple of men outside him. Pienaar, Jackson. Loads of men out wide, but Jackson's gone for territory and finds a very good touch. So the Scarlets on the back foot and back inside their own 22. Though there were, if you have another look at that, I think there were loads of men outside Paddy Jackson. But no complaints about the kick.
No, Ulster playing some pretty smart rugby, starting to dominate this game, certainly on the scoreboard where it counts, and they'll look to get some valuable match practice in for next week.
Well taken by Richard Kelly. No, that's a good kick. Trimble was there. Ricky Andrew got Gilroy outside him. And another 2 men. He didn't really look, but that's not a bad strike by Andrew. Gilroy has nudged it forward. Play on, says the referee. Alan Thomas. He'll come back for the original knock forward, I'm sure. Well, no.
gone here.
That's going to be an Ulster scrummage.
No, it's come back off red there. Let's just go off a red arm.
And the bad kick by Ricky Andrew, got the weight on it just right. Great chase by Gilroy and very nearly took it in full flight. Kept his eye on it. Tavis Noyle was the man who just helped to knock it back on the Scarlet side.
Yeah, mark is it.
Almost 10 minutes of the second half gone. Ulster have increased their half-time lead by 10 points. Now, only 22 years of age, one of the Welsh scrum halves in last year's World Cup in New Zealand. Oh, look at that great scrummaging technique by John Afoa. That's going to be a penalty to Ulster. Under pressure, the Scarlets trying to whip Ulster round. The referee saying walking round, and Pinar may well be thinking about going into the corner. Henry's decision, of course, and he said go to the corner.
Yeah, right decision with a 16-point margin. You feel that the Scarlets are under a bit of pressure. Defensively, they've done well to hold Ulster out, but you just feel the momentum is really with Ulster now and looking to capitalise on that with substantial points.
Good scrum. Can they ride it off with a good line-out throw? They're in the right position for the catch and drive, and maybe a second try. Well, there's the throw, and there's the catch by Macomb. Well taken down by the Scarlets illegally, or illegally, I should say. Chris Henry gets caught. Tom Court going to pick up and drive, and he does just that. Good work by Court. Didn't release.
Number 6, leeching and sealing.
Well, it wasn't that Tom Court didn't release, it was that Robbie Dagg got penalised for sealing the whole thing off, and that was a bit of a wasted opportunity. Thomas clears for the Scarlets. Well, on your screens, that latest score: Edinburgh 3, Leinster 3. Glasgow, Ulster's opponents in the Heineken Cup next week, leading Treviso by 20 points to 0. And there's an interesting scoreline from the Liberty Stadium: Osprey 6, Zebra 8.
Step on the mark.
Emma Phillips played his first Scarlets League game against Ulster some 3 seasons ago. Just changes his angle very slightly. No great challenge by Ulster. Noyle won't thank his forwards for that one. Afoa came through, but Noyle's done well. With nobody at scrum half, and if you see somebody wearing a number 29 jersey, it's not a peculiar replacement. It's the fact that Jacobi Adrianza has had to change his jersey. And maybe number 29 is the only one he can get to fit him. That was Noyle's kick. Wonderful take by Craig Gilroy under pressure from Gareth Maw. Bit scrappy. Pinar, Jackson, Trimble. Well done. Cave. Now to Paddy Wallace. Deft little kick. Chase to come. Covered back by the skipper, McCusker. Oh, here come the Scarlets. This is good work by them on the counter. That was Thomas. What a thump by Andrew Trimble. What a thump. Just about on the right side of legal, mind you. Ulster take it quickly. The referee says, no, you can't. They'll have to come back. Ulster trying to set off. Well, it was a clever little kick by Paddy Wallace, but wait for this thump by Andrew Trimble.
Yeah, good little continuity there, moving it forward, and then it's the break, and from that counter-attack, Andrew Trimble, he does at least one a match where you wonder if the guy's going to get up, and you know, that's an international quality centre, and Andrew Trimble just hit him squarely in the chest and dropped him to the ground. Wonderful piece of defensive work.
Well, a couple of changes being made now by the Scarlets. Deacon Manu is coming on for Adriansi on the Argentinian second row. Tomas Vajos is coming on for Sione Tamani. Good take by Ulster. Jackson. Bit of obstruction there. Knocked backward, says the referee. Here come the Scarlets. Hasn't had much of a chance to run, George North, and Ulster won't want to give him a chance to run. Thomas. Adam Warren is on, wearing number 23 for the Scarlets. Ulster have stolen that one. Good pick up by Stevenson. Tackled by Craig Price.
Advantage over.
Jackson. Advantage is over Cave. Oh, that's awful. Well, Ulster have managed to retrieve it. Referee says play on. It was knocked on by the Scarlets. Rob Herring, who's put himself about a fair old bit. North not coming in from the right side there. Referee lets him away with it. Trimble. That's better. Wallace, flat pass. Williams bursts through. Keeps his feet. Here goes Williams. Oh, offload, knocked forward, knocked over the line perhaps. And if it was knocked over the line by the Scarlets, it might be a 5-metre scrum to Ulster. And Williams very nearly got in for his 6th league try.
Well, that's hugely entertaining stuff. Every time that man gets the ball, something exciting happens. He's running some tremendous lines this evening, flat onto the ball with such pace, and then the power to shrug off those first defenders. So we see here Trimble sets up Paddy Wallace, who throws that flat ball, brushes aside the first defender, and that ability to offload the ball is really something to behold.
And can you give me a restart as well, please?
Okay. Well, they're just having a little bit of a wait. I don't think there's any possibility of it actually being a try. And the best Ulster, I think, will hope to get to this is a 5-metre scrum. And with John Afoe on, that scrum could turn into a 7-pointer. We shall see. And there's that little bit of an offload now. It seemed to be knocked backward, and was Paddy Wallace the last person to touch it. Paddy Wallace complaining that it went dead. Williams, that one-handed thing, it did come off Warren, the replacement, who got in the way of Paddy Wallace, but nothing wrong with that, and he touched it down. And it should be a 5-metre scrum.
It's a 22 dropout. It was knocked in by, or scrum knocked on by White.
Okay, so it's a scrum 5 red ball?
It's correct.
Okay.
It's going to be a scrum, but it's going to be
scrum 5 red ball.
A red ball, because it was knocked forward by Paddy Wallace. Well, there you are. Marshall Kilgore.
Knocked forward White. Scrum.
So great
red ball.
Opportunity now for Ulster to put a bit of a squeeze. Deacon Manu, the man who captained Fiji in the recent Autumn Internationals, has come on a tight head prop for the Scarlets. Great veteran, now 33 years of age. And in the second row, wearing the black headband, is Thomas Valleos, member of the Argentinian World Cup squad last year. And Tina just having a look outside him, just in case Ulster can do something with this. Free kick against the Scarlets for early engagement. Surely Ulster will go for the 5-metre scrum. No, Williams takes the tap and drives. Has he got the strength to get over? He might do it, you know. I think he has. Well, he is unstoppable from a couple of metres out. Might well have been construed as the wrong option had he not made it, but we'll never know, because he did make it. And that's try number 6 in the league this season for Nick Williams, and try number 2 for Ulster here at Ravenhill tonight.
And not only has he got tremendous strength, as we saw when he took that ball to the line, but also once he realised he wasn't going to get over from that sheer bolt, he twisted and turned, rolled around, always knew where the try line was, and it's almost a force of nature that close to the line, and with some sort of inevitability, it was Nick Williams who dotted that ball there.
As nice a fella as you could meet, unless he happens to have a rugby ball in his hand and you're the last line of defence, and he is the stuff of nightmares. Well, here's the stuff of dreams as far as Ulster have been concerned in the last season and a half. Little gentle stroke by Ruan Pienaar takes Ulster out to 26 points to 3, and we're still in the third quarter of this game. This is Williams. He is a serious beastie, isn't he? What a good try.
The absolute juggernaut, and a scoreline that many people felt we would see at some point in the game. Didn't look likely in that first half, but now Ulster really liberated and really running away with it.
Fabulous take by Neil McComb. Trimble at scrum half. Not a bad pass. Dyack, Jackson, Paddy Wallace. It's across the 10-metre line. Pienaar in quickly. Jackson. Little show. Just have to stay on their feet. Here's Trimble. He's come right round from the right wing, anxious to get into the act. Well, Williams just checked and he timed it nicely. Well, you can see why they're loving him here at Ravenhill. Pienaar, Jackson, Wallace, Cave gets a good angle but runs into the sturdy Phil John. Pienaar. Well, he puts that in a sixpence. I don't know if he's ever tried fly fishing, but he could probably land a fly where a salmon is about to leap. What a fabulous kick. All started by the man mounted himself, Nick Williams.
And Ulster starting to mix it up nicely, running when it's on, and just on a string for Pienaar. Pressure back on the Scarlets. First half, Ulster played the majority of it in their own half, in fact in their own 22, but now it's all Ulster. They're the ones that are dictating the tempo and where this game is played.
Well, holding his ribs, he's had a bit of a problem with that since the early start of the season, Nick Williams, but he's done his job, more than done his job, and on comes another Ravenhill favourite. 4 years that the Northampton Saints haven't dented his appeal, but Nick Williams goes off to a very, very generous round of applause when Irish international Roger Wilson comes on. Well taken by Kelly Noyle. Deacon Manu. Well set up by the Fijian skipper. Pienaar going for the charge down. Trimble gathers, thought about a quick one. Decided not to bother. I think if we have to congratulate Paddy Jackson on his 21st birthday tomorrow, we've got to also congratulate and send our best wishes to Paul Marshall, who's getting himself married tomorrow. Now this is, I think, about only the third time in about 85 games that Paul Marshall hasn't been on a match day squad. Wonderful take by Macomb. Here comes Herring. Pienaar. Wallace. Well, there's a great chance there, and Paddy Wallace just snatched at it a little bit and not be happy with himself, perfectionist that he is. Still about 11 minutes or 12 minutes or so to go. Ball was a little bit behind him. Typical pass to take.
Yeah, when you're running those flat lines, that ball needs to be in the perfect position. You have to check it, it does make it very difficult. But also we're seeing what happens when they start to command the tempo of a game. They generate fast ball at the breakdown. They get their big runners running those flat lines, keeping the ball alive in the tackle. Very dangerous and difficult to stop.
Phil John up against Ulster's John Afoa on this side of the scrum. Free kick against Ulster for early engagement.
Can't take it over there. You have to be behind.
Tap by the skipper McCusker. Herring with the tackle. Tavis Noyle. Phil John. Into Roger Wilson. Slow ball for the Scarlets. Deacon Manu. Lewis Stevenson up quickly for Ulster. Good tackle by the big second row. Thomas.
One. No, you're on.
Didn't quite get the contact he wanted. Ricky Andrew. Nice delicate kick. Well taken in by Tavis Noyle. Christian Phillips has got a bit of pace. Again, it Stevenson with the tackle. His tackle count must be in double figures. Noyle. Better by the Scarlets. That's a nice flat pass. George North, of whom we've seen so little. Well taken by Paddy Wallace. Jonathan Davis taken down as well. Paddy Jackson. Well, he's kept that in field, and he's found Alan Thomas.
No.
Who's found Josh Turnbull. Warren. And that's not a bad kick at all. It puts Ulster right back into the 22. We are now into the final quarter of this game. Ulster 23 points to the good. So to win this game, the Scarlets are going to have to get 3 converted tries and a bit more.
They're not looking likely, and that margin at the top of the table increasing now. The Scarlets in danger have been overtaken by the chasing pack for that second spot, and 1 and 2 crucial to get that home semi-final, which goes a long way to determining the finalists.
Gareth Davis has come on for Tavis Noyle.
Mark is here. Wait. Mark is here.
Apart from one wayward throw in the first half, it's been a pretty useful day with the old arrows for Rob Herring. That's a good catch and drive by Ulster inside their own 22. Well, the Scarlets have managed to get a man through the middle, but I think Ulster are going to smuggle this one back. John Afoa's got it. Ruan Pienaar's got it. Slight miscue by Pienaar. Very nearly worked out for Ulster, but not forward, I think. Right line on Craig Gilroy, who's chased and chased and chased, and it just hasn't gone his way for Craig Gilroy. I mean, not like the Wolfhounds game against Fiji in November when everything went his way.
Yeah, quite often as a wing you're reliant on the distribution and the opportunities that are created from the inside players, and certainly he's brought that energy that he always does to the game and looking for that level of involvement, but just a few little things possibly haven't gone his way tonight.
Gareth Davis has played nearly 60 games for the Scarlets, a product of the Scarlets Academy, just 22 years of age. Solid Scarlet scrummage on their own put in. Well, Ulster get the secondary squeeze on. Thomas, Warren. Keenar helps with the tackling.
Advantage off White, knock forward off
Knock
7.
forward off Ulster, referee playing advantage. This is Kelly, good support. Phil John with a little rumble.
Advantage over.
Advantage is over, says the referee Jonathan Davis. Great tackle by Roger Wilson. Davis. Cajallas, the Argentinian. Warren looking to create a little bit of space. Alan Thomas backing up. Ulster's defence is reasonably solid at this stage. Davis, no way through, needs to offload it. He does so to Turnbull. Here's Price. Wilson forces him to pass. George North might just have a crack himself. Gets away from Cade. Very nearly gets away from Trimble, who gets him at the second attempt. Better ball this now. Davis. Rob McCusker, the Scarlets skipper. They get the penalty.
White sealing off, you're off your feet 6.
Robbie Dack, second penalty he's conceded for sealing off. Now what do they do here? 3 points, not a lot of use to them. They have a man down injured as well. And it's gone into the corner from Alan Thomas.
Hold the mark there.
Ulster with a player down
Time
injured
off.
as well.
There's a head injury here.
Might be Chris Henry, the Ulster captain. And George North is down, and that'll be a little bit worrying for Warren Gatland, I'm sure.
Yeah. One red.
Declan Kidney, if I'm not mistaken, is in the ground this evening, looking at some of the prospective members of the 2013 Six Nations Irish squad. But this is not good for George North.
It looks to be in considerable pain. Might see here how the injury occurred.
He seemed to twist himself in the tackle.
It looked like Tom Court came sliding in as that tackle was affected as he went to ground. Totally innocuous, but as he goes to ground, you see Tom Court coming in and maybe copped a knee to the head there.
Ulster making
Be a line out there.
about to make a number of replacements. Scarlets have made another replacement. Roderick Jones is on, the prop forward. Phil John has gone off the field. Ulster with Callum Black over there, Michael Heaney over there. The referee is saying it's a head or a neck injury, so they've got to see how that's going to play out. The Ulster tries there. Robbie Dack first of all, and then a real barnstorming effort from Big Nick Williams, celebrated in great style by Tom Court. Clock has stopped. We've got 16 minutes remaining, and Ulster 23 points ahead. At the moment, it's the Ospreys have squeezed ahead of the Zebras. Glasgow are doing a very good job at home to an outstanding Treviso side, a very good Treviso side, and Edinburgh's season continues to unravel as they go behind to Leinster at Murrayfield. Leinster with Rob Carney and Brian O'Driscoll and Luke Fitzgerald all back, which will be very encouraging for Declan Kidney, needless to say. Scott Williams is coming on, another Welsh international. And that's rather sad now. He hasn't moved at all, George North. Hasn't really moved at all. There's Scott Williams, 16 Welsh caps. That's Adam Warren that changed their numbers around. So also going to make 2 changes in the front row. Callum Black and Niall Annette going to come on. Michael Heaney, who's a clever little sleight of hand, set up Ulster's late try against Munster, but they'll not be able to do anything until the referee decides that everything that can possibly be done for the injured George North is done. I just hope it's not too serious for George North.
There's Neil Doak working on his New Year's resolution. Happy smile there as it comes along. And you wonder whether Ulster will start now looking to next week, protecting some of the players that they deem as vital to next week's cause. We've already seen Nick Williams, after a barnstorming display, go off. You wonder whether that's an indication of a potential start for him at number 8 next week. Lots of positions that are up for grabs, and that competitiveness within the squad has really driven them forward, and I'm sure it's a tense time whenever the team announcement is made the week before the big games.
And we remember the trouble that Ulster had with Glasgow in the opening game, or the second game of the Heineken Cup, away at Glasgow's new home of Scotstoun, and it looks as if Glasgow are now starting to come back into things. They're certainly by far the stronger of the 2 Scottish sides, and Ulster, having lost here at home to Northampton, are still in pole position in that group, but it may come down that they have to win to get a home quarter final. They might just have to win both remaining games, and that of course includes a trip to Castres.
Yeah, well, you think you've got the likes of Toulon, Clermont and Harlequins have probably already secured a home quarter final, so that last spot available for the team that can finish rounds 5 and 6 and ensure that they get that huge advantage.
Standing there, the familiar figure with the clipboard, Gary Longwell, Ulster's second row forward when they won the European Cup away back in 1999. Hard to believe it's almost 14 years ago. Where have the years gone? Big fella looks as if he can still play a little bit, in charge of the Ulster Academy. Players now starting just to get a little bit on the cold side, and they have to go and stretch a little bit. George North is on a stretcher, and they're going to take him off, and I'm sure they will get a well-deserved round of applause. But if it's a neck injury, then obviously this is going to be treated very, very seriously indeed, and he's in the best care possible. Ulster's Dr. Michael Webb is down there as well. And well, the partisan crowd here at Ravenhill obviously want their side to win. They certainly don't want to see anybody, whether it's from the home side or the visiting side, pick up a serious injury. It did all look very, very innocuous, but George North is not a fellow who's going to just lie down for the sake of it.
And also have to think if they could pick up a try in the next 5 or so minutes and have 3 in the bank already, their thoughts may turn to trying to secure that additional one, open things up, play from deep, and really try and pursue that extra advantage.
Ospreys now moving ahead of the Zebra, and if it stays like that, they will probably at this stage move up into second place, with Munster to play tomorrow. 27-0 to Glasgow at home to Treviso, and Edinburgh training Leinster 6-17 at Murrayfield. Well, George North is going off, and that's a very deserved round of applause for an outstanding player, a young man who, all being well, will be on the plane to Australia for the Lions. And there's a man who's played for the Lions before, the Clonethley Scarlets coach, Irish international Simon Easterby. So play resumes. Ulster's replacements will have to wait just another minute or two. Chance now for the Scarlets to do something in this game. That's a good take, well done by Kelly. Ulster come driving through. Scarlets trying to pick up and maybe squeeze across the line. Tom Court dragging toward the touchline. Great defensive play by Ulster, by Tom Court in particular.
Yeah, they managed to destabilise that driving maul, and then once they had the momentum, the rest of the boys piled in and drove that one over and diffused that situation very well.
Well, Court got that brawny arm in there, and he did a bit of dragging and heaving, and good work as well from his fellow prop, John Afoa, who gets the plaudits. Straightforward line out, and Neil McComb takes it. Ulster drive forward through the skipper, Chris Henry. As the Scarlets forward, making no attempt to get back on side. Pienaar has kept that in field. Well taken. Not so well passed. Ooh, bad defence by Ulster. Cave and Wallace. Good running by Christian Phillips. Chance now for the Scarlets if they can move this. Late flourish, it's going to be a try. Maul very nearly got away. That should have been a try. Knocked backwards, says the referee. Scarlets 5 metres away, trying to salvage something from this game. Deacon Manu. Tackled by Roger Wilson. Davis. Thomas has a little dance, but runs into some fairly heavy Ulster traffic. Gareth Davis, the replacement scrum half, told to use it, and he does. Emir Phillips, who's been on from the start. Turnbull tries to set it up. Better stuff, McCusker, the captain. Paddy Wallace. Use it again, says the referee. Turnbull. Good tackle by Wallace. Took his man head on. Gareth Davis has a wee glance. Alan Thomas tries a little shimmy. Gets no change out of Ulster's midfield. And Chris Henry in particular. Good grovelling work by Tom Court. 17 is Rodri Jones, another Welsh international. Good pressure now. McCusker tackled by Court. Gareth Davis gets it away. The Argentinian Vallejos. Scarlets only 2-3 metres away. Ricky Andrew with the tackle for Ulster. It's gone loose. Play on, says the referee. Gareth Davis. Half tackled he was by Stevenson. A foe is in the middle of all of that. Slow ball now for the Scarlets. They've got men over. Oh, Turnbull might just get there. He deserves this. And he's made it. Ulster's midfield a little bit softish right at the death. And Josh Turnbull gets the Scarlets' first try of the evening. But with 12 minutes to go, is it all too late?
Yeah, good turn of pace shown by Turnbull there. Spotted the hole in that defensive line and really exploited it. Started from some clever counter-attack from the Scarlets. Some good cover defence there by Gilroy. And the Scarlets spending some time down there, and then that flat line saw the space. Little dog leg there. Managed to slip through the gap, and good pace and power to get across the line.
Well, he took the try well. He's battled away all evening, Josh Turnbull. Like his fellow back row forward and skipper Rob McCusker. Capped 5 times for Wales.
139, 129.
Well, this is a kick that the Scarlets need to give themselves any chance, and that is a good kick by Thomas.
Scarlets try converted by number 10.
So 26 points to 10 now. And there was that try. 1, 2, 3, 4 tackles. Failed to bring him down. Nicely done. The angle was very good. He straightened, then he came off his right foot and legged it for the Ulster line. Ruan Pienaar has left the field. Michael Heaney has come on. Into touch edges flag, straight up. Just about 12 minutes remaining.
Scrum or line out? Scrum or line out has not gone into touch.
Niall Ennis has come on as well.
Line out taken.
And Callum Black, wearing number 17, has come on. There's Niall Ennis. Kirby Mile, replacement hooker for the Scarlets. They're taken at the back. Pass back inside the 22, so he can't kick directly to touch, and he hasn't. Great take by Craig Gilroy. He's had very little chance to show his attacking skills. Heaney. Roger Wilson makes good ground. Heaney again. John Afoa. Good body position. Rolls nicely to present the ball. Good call by Jackson. Ricky Andrew. But lively. Scarlets trying to make a mess of that. Backwards for Ulster. Was that nicely done by Neil McComb. Jackson. Lewis Stevenson. Heaney. John Afoa has spread-eagled himself. Jackson. And that's well taken in by Aled Thomas.
Red, keep coming, 16, hold. Stay.
Jackson.
Stay.
Trimble. He would love a run. A clever switch now. Jackson back inside. Gilroy. Paddy Wallace. Taken on by Callum Black. Heaney. Jackson. Good angle by Niall Annette. Good defence by the Scarlets. Into the last 10 minutes. Jackson. Stevenson. It's a bit of help from Roger Wilson. Ball has been smuggled back by Ulster. Good work by Chris Henry. John Afoa ran a great line. Instruction by Manu. Play on, says the referee. Well taken by Jackson. Not the greatest pass. Trimble needs to be quick. And he is quick and he gets it away. Now here's Gilroy. He's going to have a go himself. While the crowd, as a man, to their feet. Back in the Ulster side. Play on, says the referee. Jackson. Annette. Well away. Henry has to give it. Does give it. McComb with a four outside him. Good pass. Here's a four. Silky sidestep by the big prop. Jackson. Wallace. Ulster still in possession. Referee telling the Scarlets to roll away. Heaney. Chris Henry, Ulster's captain. Heaney again. To his former Methodist College teammate, Niall Annette. Lewis Stevenson. Good work by Stevenson. Ulster still churning toward the Glenethley line.
Stay on your feet, White.
Pick up and drive again by Neil McComb. Huge pressure now coming from Ulster, and they've lost possession. Scarlets may, well, I was going to say they may decide to run it, but they've gone for touch, and it's going to be an Ulster line-out. Great pressure by Ulster.
Yeah, excellent passage of continuity, wonderful ball security. It started by Andrew Trimble. He had the ability to get that ball away, and once it becomes broken field, Craig Gower, no better man to have ball in hand. Some excellent pace. Phillips is a quick man, and we're seeing the end of the passage here. Some good hands by Ulster. Afoa heavily involved since he's come on. Ulster just going through the phases now. Some excellent work by Paddy Jackson directing them around the park.
Pinos with Jackson taking on responsibility. Wonderful line out. Heaney. Flat pass to Wallace on his own a little bit. In goes Niall Annette to try to clean out. Heaney gets it away. Jackson. Nice angle. Here's Trimble. Oh, he's right through. It is going to be a try for Trimble. Ulster's third. Beautiful stuff. Not a fingertip laid on him. And Andrew Trimble gets his 5th league try of the season. And Ulster now over 30. And the conversion has been taken very quickly. And there's a chance for Ulster to maybe squeeze a bonus one out of this game.
Yeah, excellent work, pre-rehearsed move. Paddy Wallace gets it over the advantage line. A retreating Scarlets defence. Then it's the switch and the hit from the angle. It's Trimble coming from the far side, not attracting any defenders. Their eye is on the player who switches the ball back in, and nobody sees Andrew Trimble coming at such pace. No time to correct their defensive alignment. Wonderful work from Darren Cave to put Trimble through in perfect timing.
Yep. Trimble will live that one. Bobby Dyack scored Ulster's first try, sets it up. Heaney, who's played well yet again. There's a little bit of sleight of hand. Callum Black, tackled by Deacon Manu. Penalty against the Scarlets.
17 assist tackle, never released before playing the ball.
It was Tomas Vallejos who made the tackle. 6 minutes remaining. Ulster looking pretty comfortable. 23 points to the good. Paddy Jackson has found a pretty good touch. Well, I can understand why Simon Easter is looking a little bit anxious. A lovely 1-2-3 piece of interplay there, resulting in Andrew Trimble getting Ulster's 3rd try in the pick of the evening. It was Darren Cave who actually landed the conversion pretty quickly. Here's Niall Annette. Heaney, good pass. Jackson, Wallace, Ricky Andrew. Again showing loads of enterprise, Ricky Andrew, and he's got plenty of support. He's well released by Andrew. Jackson. Chris Henry. Jackson again. Paddy Wallace. Lovely pass. Cave has a go himself. Gets away. Cave's going to get there. Bit of a handoff. 2 meters to go. Ulster looking for the bonus point try. Heaney. Jackson. Oh, gave it away. Penalty against the Scarlets, though.
You'd have to think that could be a penalty try.
Yep.
If he's come from an offside position and a try was definitely going to be scored.
And it is a penalty try. He has given it Leighton Hodges. He issued the yellow card first, and then he said the try, in his opinion, would have been scored had it not been for the infringement, and Ulster have got the bonus point try.
Yeah, Cave again, excellent work there. Makes the break, and then as the cover defence come back, managed to hold on to the ball under pressure. Heaney makes the right decision, quick ball, and then a retreating player. The ball should have gone into Lewis Stevenson's hands for a certain try. He infringes, and correctly the decision is given that that is a yellow card offence. Try would have been scored, penalty try.
Well, Lewis Stevenson will be furious because he's never scored a try for Ulster before, but I'm sure he'll settle for this bonus point rather than personal glory. Paddy Jackson adds the conversion, and Ulster are now up to 40 points to 10 ahead, and at 9-3 up at the start of the second half. Would you have foreseen that scoreline?
No, certainly not. You looked at the two teams on paper at the start of the match and you felt Ulster would win this game comfortably. Scarlets made it very difficult in the first 20 minutes, but Ulster, once they got into their rhythm, particularly in the latter stages of this half, they really have looked unstoppable.
Bit of a miscue by Paddy Jackson. Rob McCusker, a difficult evening for him as the Scarlet skipper. Runs into a foe-up, and Macomb, and gives away the penalty. Off the feet against the Scarlets. Scarlets replacement, who is Vaheos, off his feet, and it'll be into the corner, I'm pretty sure, for Ulster.
A little bit more entertainment possibly left in this game. Ulster will be pretty keen to play it out in the Scarlets territory, and couldn't get a better kick.
What a kick by Paddy Jackson. Touchdown had a good look at it, but it went across the touchline before it went into in goal. Well, he's a pretty cool customer, Paddy Jackson, and I'm sure his 21st birthday celebrations tomorrow will be even better because of this win tonight, because a win it's certainly going to be, and it's a bonus point win, and that's another 5 points, and the Scarlets will go away empty-handed. Is there something else in this for Ulster? Good catch. Kelly gets himself on the way. Here go Ulster again, looking for try number 5. Price with the tackle. McCusker's in there as well. Ball squirted back very quickly. Great work at the breakdown by Robbie Dyack. Ulster told to use it. Niall Annette has a go, looking for his first Ulster try. Here they go again. That's going to be another one. They've got it. Try number 5 for Ulster this evening. Great flourish and a great finish. And as Neil Macomb gets his first try for Ulster.
Well, you can see how much that means to Neil Macomb. Absolutely delighted to get that across the line, and well deserved. The floodgates have opened for Ulster. They had to be patient in that first half. Good pick and go by Niall Annette, and then Neil Macomb doing very well at the back there, driving a player over the line, and celebrations all round for Ulster.
Well, a second row forward likes nothing more than scoring a try. I know it's an old cliche, but by the time he gets back to his beloved Harlequins this evening, he'll have taken the pass on halfway, sold 4 dummies and done 18 side steps, but he'll take it, and the pints are on Big Neil, I'm pretty sure.
They really come of age this season, limited opportunities prior to that, but really flourishing under the reign of Mark Anscombe, been given opportunities and certainly taken them very well this season.
Paddy Jackson to make it yet another conversion. No pressure whatsoever. He stuck it very nicely. 2 minutes remaining, and Ulster with 5 second-half tries, very much in control of this game, and dare we say it, very much in control of this league table, leading by 47 points to 10. It has been a very, very tough second half for a beleaguered Scarlets. Robbie Dyack, the man who started it all off in terms of try scoring. Heaney, Jackson, Cave. Nice footed pass. Here goes Trimble. Great strength. Macomb. Nearly worked. Nearly worked. Back come the Scarlets. Gareth Davis with a bit of zip. Knocked forward.
No advantage.
No advantage to the Scarlets. And I think they're going to go back to...
So knock forward White.
Knock forward by Ulster for the scrum to the Scarlets.
He's actually on his own there, yeah.
Well, this capacity crowd has certainly been treated in the second half. Entertaining stuff. I'm sure that's the announcement possibly of the man of the match, Mick Williams. He only played 60, but what a 60 it was. Devastating stuff. Trademark offloads, all that power. Got a try for his efforts, and truly outstanding performance.
Forward White, scrum red
big
ball.
bag of ice there. I'm sure he'll find something to put in a glass of ice. Might be the last set piece of this highly entertaining game. First half was pretty evenly shared despite the scoreline, but there's only one side in it in the second half, and that's the side who's got the squeeze on. Here goes Dyack again, knocked forward, picked up by Ulster and given away by Ulster. Josh Turnbull picked off Roger Wilson's pass. Gareth Davis, Kelly. Well, this is a man who's been kept very, very quiet indeed. Jonathan Davis, many people's picks to be a Lions test centre this summer. Well taken on by Rodri Jones. Oh, good break by Craig Price, back inside. This is nicely done. There could be a late sting in the tail. This is going to be a try for the Scarlets. Ricky Andrew has to dive. He does, but he's not going to prevent the try. And that was very well done indeed, and splendidly finished off by Scott Williams.
Yeah, very quick, Scott Williams. Once he got into that space, unstoppable from that sort of a distance. And clever line run there, some tired Ulster defence, inside pass, and then fast forward once he got that ball in his hands. No stopping him from there. Entertaining stuff. 6 tries, I think, in total scored in that second half. Outstanding.
Well, what a game. What a game. Conversion was made, so it's a 30-point win for Ulster, but outscoring the Scarlets by 5 tries to 2 in the second half will certainly put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces. And of course a huge game coming up here at Ravenhill next Friday with the visit of the Glasgow Warriors in round 5 of the Heineken Cup. But Ulster, after a bit of an iffy start, picked up the pace in the second half, and by and large were pretty ruthless, and it put the Scarlets to the sword. Full time Ulster 47, Scarlets I think 17.